Hello and welcome to another video by RedRobotTV. Today we're going to be reviewing the Sony Xperia Z. The Xperia Z screen is an extremely vibrant experience, boasting a full 1080p display with a pixel density of 441 pixels per inch. Colours look rich and are well saturated, especially when viewing HD videos, which really pop off the screen. However, the viewing angles are quite poor, and when tilting the screen, colours become completely washed out, making it almost useless outside. Sony boasts that the Xperia Z is water resistant, scratch resistant and shatterproof, and can be submerged in water for up to 30 minutes. We were unable to test this as it's a review model, although this water resistance does welcome a number of side effects in terms of hardware. For example, there were restrictions made to accessing the ports on the phone due to the use of plastic flaps which not only look flimsy, but when I was using headphones I was constantly conscious they might break off, especially when putting the phone into my pocket. The screen is also affected. Even though it looks vibrant, due to the fact it's been made with water resistant glass, it makes the colours appear deadened, which loses the sharpness of the screen. The actual feel of the phone is great, and it feels great in the hand. It's slim, light, and despite the 5-inch screen, it's still comfortable to hold. However, due to the glass back, the Xperia is a fingerprint and dust magnet, which doesn't look very appealing, especially if you're not using a case on the phone. On paper, the Xperia's camera looks superior to most smartphones, with a 13 megapixel sensor. However, its performance is lacking in its promises. It performs very well in terms of speed and the burst mode, taking pictures incredibly quickly, even when processing HDR mode. However, when looking back at the photos, they're pretty average and come out quite soft. The software is quite twitchy as well, and I'm not sure if it's some sort of stabilizer, but the camera appeared to be constantly moving, even when the phone was still. The Xperia is running, in terms of software, Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, which isn't the latest version of Android but performs quite well. Sony seems to have quite a minimal skin, so it's more like stock Android when compared to HTC or Samsung, so in some ways this is a plus depending on your preference. The widgets like weather are quite useful, and I like the lock screen, but the best feature is their version of multitasking, which gives you access to a smaller dock with useful apps like calculator and notes. Overall, I have mixed opinions on the Sony Xperia Z. I feel Sony took a risk with marketing a waterproof phone, as it brings some compromises which people may not see a purpose for, as virtually no other smartphone is waterproof. I feel the hardware is solid, and the screen looks fantastic, however that is only when you're looking straight at the phone. I'm not a regular user of Android, although we did note that now not only is Google Chrome the default browser, but it's also really hard to change it to an alternative one, although we did manage to get it to Firefox. But all points aside, Sony have released a really interesting phone, but I don't think it will be able to compete with Samsung and Apple. Despite their high-end features, I think the hardware has too many ups and downs. Thank you for watching this video. Please check out our previous videos and remember to like and subscribe.